segment.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Sunday blessings, Sunday greetings. Um, my aunt sent me a text this morning and it said Happy Sunday, and it had one of the forms of the Christian cross, but it's not the one that we typically use as Roman Catholics. And I'm like, why do you keep using the wrong cross?
I am learning new things every time you talk about Catholicism.
Yeah, there's
I
hold
didn't
on.
know that. What?
So there's multiple different kinds of crosses that exist. Like there's the Celtic cross. We could have an entire podcast on cross types, but there's a cross that has the T beam. It's a little higher up, and then there's also a slanted foot pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
That's commonly used in the Orthodox Church. We're Catholic, so we're Roman Catholic. So typically the cross is a little bit more centered, and there's no slanted footrest.
Interesting. I am learning.
Today in Catholicism with Amanda. New exciting segment on the show.
What is, I feel like this is like a trend in my life lately because one of my organizers, like co-organizers for TourCon, she used to live in, like, she has family in the US. I think she lived there when she was a kid, so she has all of these like kids Bible things, and she has one that is like a Bible verse for every day of the year. So she's promised that for the upcoming year, she's gonna send in our group chat the Bible verse of the year every single morning to start us off well.
One of the gifts I want to send you, just because it's so outside of your normal purview, I want to send you the resurrection eggs.
There are so many. Wait, understand. Okay, the other day. Okay, you need to understand. I have cats.
Yes.
They do a lot of damage, and they knock things over and things. I'll be finding stuff everywhere. So I was moving the table. I think this actually was for last week when we were gonna record, because I pull out my couch so I can sit more comfortably on the little table. And so I have to move my table to pull out the couch. And what do I find just hiding under there? A bag of the Jesus! No, it was a whole bag! Just like a bag of cursed baby Jesuses just hanging out under my table. It was terrifying. And now you want to send me resurrection eggs?
Yes, I do want to send you resurrection eggs. They're a wholesome gift that are for children. Yes.
I genuinely think that could be a corner on this show. We should call it the Yaoi Shelf Needs Jesus Corner, in which we can probably find something to talk about.
So I realize that I might be talking about something that not everyone understands. So, Easter eggs are a thing, right?
Yes.
Well, some Christians decided that Easter eggs were too pagan.
Uh-huh.
So they made up resurrection eggs. And it's 12 eggs. Each of them has an item related to the Passion of the Christ.
I'm Googling this. Not the movie, right?
No, the movie is based on...
Today I am absolutely not...
So one of the things in the resurrection eggs is a crown of thorns, like the crown of thorns placed on Jesus's head. One of them is 3 pieces of silver, which is what Judas Iscariot received for telling.
Yes, I do know that.
One of the things in the eggs is a small rooster. It's the cock that crowed while Peter denied Jesus. They're great. One of them just has like a couple of iron nails.
This is the wild beast that is eating all of my cords at the moment.
Amazing.
She does not want to learn about Jesus, apparently.
Speaking of Easter eggs, we had a great time talking about fan service.
We did.
I had such an amazing time talking about fan service with you. I mean, I always have a great time talking with you. I say this all the time.
You do, but then you also spend a lot of time saying stuff like "I can't" with you, and just
Stares at our private chat.
yes.
But I think that was such a good conversation to have. I think, being able to reflect on what now feels like ancient fandom history.
Mm.
Like, I can't imagine 2015, 2016 fandom rules still applying today. Like, I couldn't imagine that. I mean, outside of our Discord, shameless plug.
Oh my god.
But things are so different, and it was so nice to be able to talk about some of those fandom experiences with fan service, and thinking of a time where things where we were a little less cynical, especially
Yeah.
me.
Especially you. Just echoing that for good measure.
Right. Like when we were a little less cynical, when we openly had more fun.
God, I miss having fun.
I miss being able to have like fan fun in public.
Yeah.
Just an ominous tale. There we go. She's scurrying away.
Yeah. The other one is she's hanging out behind the table.
Did you tell them that she's my favorite?
No, I don't want them to
Good.
go into conflict with each other.
Yeah, I don't want you to tell them.
Someone actually asked me recently which one is my favorite, and I'm like, that is not an okay question.
Okay, well, as their gay aunt, I can pick a favorite.
Yeah, you can pick a favorite. Also, they have a lot of gay aunts. And
They have gay parents. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna send you a picture of your favorite that I took right before we went live. And it's nice that because she is so shy, she doesn't really want to say hello when we have visitors, so nobody really knows her. But Juby is everywhere in everyone's faces.
But I had such a good time talking about fan service. My Amazon is cursed now because I looked up one weird Christian thing, and now it's like, here's a paper doll theater of the crucifixion of Jesus. My Amazon is cursed now.
Sometimes I think that the religions that are like you shall not depict our prophet are correct, because when I listen to all of these insane things that you grew up with, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe not depicting the Lord and Savior is for the better.
I was driving through rural Texas, and I saw a flag, and I thought it was bleached. And like the US has a bunch of rules about like the American flag. It's like, oh, if it's too badly bleached, you have to remove it. Like it could be considered a crime.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really, really badly bleached American flag because it was flying at the same height as the American flag. And the only other flag that can do that is the Texan flag. Get him. But it wasn't a badly bleached American flag. It was the Christian flag, and it was technically higher than the American flag because God over country.
Okay. I mean, we have some weird flag rules too, though, which are like, I mean, some of them aren't weird. Like, there's a rule that because we never put the flag out unless it's like a proper holiday, like our Constitution Day, or and you can hang it out if it's someone's birthday or something. But the rule is you don't put it out before 9 a.m. and you have to take it back in before 9 p.m. Like it's not supposed to be out after 9 p.m. And then there's this weird rule, which the first half of this rule makes sense. If the flag falls, like the flag shouldn't touch the ground. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But then you find out, as a child, you're walking in the Constitution parade and everyone's all like, oh, don't drop your flag because it's not supposed to touch the ground. And it's like, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. But then they're like, oh, but also if your flag touches the ground, you have to burn it. And I'm like, burning flags, is that not wrong? And they're like, no, it's the only way to properly get rid of it if it's been like damaged. And I'm like, burning it seems a little.
If you guys want a weird Christian artifacts in America sidebar, let me know. But we're here to talk about fan service, and we're here to talk about some of the things that we missed during the main episode.
Because we were, yeah. There was a lot.
There was a good amount.
Yeah.
There was a good amount, but we also had such a great conversation.
Am I kicking? No, okay.
Sorry, can I help you?
What?
Can I help you?
No, I was just stretching on my leg, and I just had to check that I didn't kick a cat. It wasn't a cat; it was a pillow.
While I was driving up to Dallas, which is 287 miles away. Do you need that in kilometers?
And it's not going to make sense to me in kilometers either. I promise you. I don't.
Okay.
If you tell me, you have to tell me in minutes. If not, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, or hours.
5 hours and 40 minutes.
That is horrific.
I got to listen to our podcast episode while I was driving, and it was very, very nice.
You are now one of the people listening to us on a road trip.
I've been one of the people who listen to us on a road trip. So I think if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to drop them in ye old chat. But there were a few things that we definitely wanted to discuss as we, continue to have this conversation. We put a bow on this conversation, prep for December. And I think one of the things that came up to me during that conversation is the difference between like male and female gaze.
Mm-hmm.
And male and female gaze, I find sometimes is really, really difficult to explain with words, but it's a viscerally felt feeling.
Mm.
Like when something is designed for the male gaze,
Yeah.
It's not subtle. It's omniscient. It's usually not very subtle. Oppressive comes to mind sometimes.
Yeah. But interestingly, and like we keep seeing this on social media over and over and over. We talked about it in an earlier episode earlier this year as well, is there's also a male gaze of male characters for male viewers, and then men think that is the female gaze, and we're over there like, no, these men are super jacked and dehydrated for you, because women don't typically want that. And you're
right. Well, and I can think of a couple examples of that, like directorially. Michael Bay is someone who definitely does male gaze, and he does it exactly as you said. 2 women and 2 men. All those circular shots of like oiled up, sweaty Mark Wahlberg. And it's like, come on, guy.
Yeah, but like, because I'm thinking of, there's this, especially this like one particular picture of Wolverine, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, yeah, everyone loves Hugh Jackman, but that, it's just so exaggerated and so unhealthy. And I mean, I don't get to talk on this because we all know what my type is. My type is twinks. So, you're not gonna get a raise out of me for, any muscular man ever.
Amanda steps in. Because also, like, you could look at comic book writer Rob Liefeld. He's the one that did the famous Captain America where he's just like, titty!
Yeah.
Like, you can see a lot of really, really interesting aspects of male gaze towards men in shows, and it's typically not that it's unattractive, it's just attractive in different ways. I think one of the examples that I remember working on me really, really well was the Eric Pride's video for Call on Me, and I'll drop that in chat, but it's just like this
I'm having flashbacks, and thank you for putting that song in my head.
I love that
I'm
song.
so happy.
You're welcome. I'm a good yaoi husband.
I'm screaming.
That video is so overtly like, oh, okay. I mean, it worked. I watched the entire thing multiple times.
Yeah, no, it did not work on me, but
It
you
worked
know, there
on me.
are things
I'm I'm a simple man. It worked on
but
me.
I'm also simple. Like there are things that work on me.
That wasn't one of them. And then you get to something like female gaze, which I don't think necessarily women own, but there is a softer, different approach
Mm.
that can still be just as sexy, just as
Oh yeah.
attractive. Like, to talk about something that's in the zeitgeist, Guillermo del Toro,
Mm.
known man. I think
Really?
his, yeah,
I love that known man. Okay, confirmed here on the Yaoi Shelf.
I think he's in a lot of ways mastered female gaze.
Mm.
I think about like The Shape of Water. I think about his new Frankenstein movie. In a lot of ways, yes.
No, I'm fine. I have a lot of emotions.
Mm.
Mostly, I'm like, oh, this Frankenstein did it because he was actually capable of putting the pretty parts together and creating something pretty. And the creature is so pretty, and why does everyone keep trying to kill it? And they're like, oh, it's a monster. I'm like, he's so pretty. I mean,
This
okay,
is
he's
the
really,
best one.
yeah, and like, okay, he's really freakishly tall, and I guess maybe you'd be afraid if he came lumbering towards you in the dark. But like his face, though, I have so much. Oh my god, I don't hate Victor Frankenstein any less after watching this version. I'll tell you that he might be my most hated fictional character in the world. I hate Victor Frankenstein with all my, with all my heart.
More than Heathcliff?
Yeah, more than Heathcliff, actually.
I'm going to take this over to my literature podcast co-host.
Invite me on. I can talk about what.
Yeah, I think you're lying more than more than Edward Rochester.
I have to go back to Jane Eyre because I was literally just reading something. I was reading a novel and they kept bringing up Mr. Rochester, and I'm like, was he really that horrible?
I'm a soft apologist for him, so I'm on but then there's this female gaze that truly does focus more on intimacy, on small touches, things that matter. And I don't really like calling it female gaze because it's just a different approach to things. I think it works when you use it as a term contrasting male gaze.
Yeah.
But calling it female gaze, I feel kind of infantilizes it a little bit. You see that also like with book talk girlies where it's like, oh, this was a man written by a woman. It's like, okay.
Can we just bring back, like, I know this is like, this is the tagline of this show, bring back media literacy. I can't take this anymore. It's like, if we're going to go by all of these insane TikTok trends and rules and whatever, nobody can write anything. And I don't mean that in a, you should be allowed to pretend to be someone else's nationality or culture to write this thing because whatever. Hello, R.F. Kuang and Yellowface. God, that book pissed me off. But it, like, you can be a man and write female characters. You can be a feminine presenting person and write male characters. But sometimes you're just bad at writing. That doesn't have anything to do with gender, I think. I think you can be bad at writing regardless.
Well, and typically when people say like, oh, this was a man written by a woman, they mean he's just like an actually decent guy. And like that I think is a different conversation. Yeah, I get where you're going, but I want to clarify.
Because I thought you were going in the other direction with the whole. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, let me pull this back a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Please do, because I don't want to go down that street either. I want to stay here. Okay. Good.
No. We're not there. It's more like it's like, oh, this was a man written by. He's just a guy. He's just basically he doesn't do sexual assault, so he's a great man.
Wow. Again, the bar's in hell. Everybody.
Yeah. He hasn't assaulted anyone, so he's a great guy.
I need a moment. I'm just
And
gonna
I
go
think
for a walk.
and I, with a pocket full of rocks directly into the sea.
Yes, correct. There's a
Uh,
very deep puddle. There's a very deep hole right down my street where they're digging up the pipes. I'm just gonna go. Yeah.
and I think about that a lot when it comes to that queer bait conversation. So, like, when I think about male gaze versus female gaze, and like, I especially started thinking about it when it comes to like the superhero pairings that I was discussing and everything.
Mm,
One of the interesting things about it was like how much of this stuff that was done explicitly for very, very deep, like male centered masculinity ended up looking super fucking gay.
mm.
It ended up looking so fucking gay.
It really, it's really fascinating when you think
Isn't
about
it?
it. It's like that thing, you went so far, like just so
Yeah.
far that you ended up on the opposite end of the scale.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think about that a lot, like with X-Men and with like the Avengers and stuff like that, where like all these moves that were done to make these characters look super straight and everything. It's like, this is the gayest thing you've ever done.
Hmm. But I mean,
Just
that's one of those.
this.
I feel like that's also one of those things that, ironically, like we grew up in the 90s. We're really old, and you had a lot of those. Like I guess they still do it in the sense that they
Mhm.
make shows anymore. But the typical, like the typical dynamic that you would find on any teen show, or like whether
Mhm.
it was, it could be a sitcom, or it could be like a more dramatic type, like
Mhm.
show. There would always be like the popular jock types, and the
Yeah.
nerds, and the nerds were being picked on, and the nerds would
Mhm.
be comic book nerds. And
Yes.
so interestingly, you always had that. Like, I can't, like, everything I grew up with basically has that one moment where some super beefy popular dude tells some other guys that comic books are gay because they're all just men in spandex. And
Right.
it's like, it's that whole thing, but there's that balance because it's supposed to be all, oh, look at these muscular ideal men that you can relate to
Mhm.
and look up to, but also they're wearing spandex and they have really huge biceps, and yeah.
Yeah, it's really really interesting when you think about it like that. And yeah, especially when it comes to this issue of like queer bait and everything. I have decided I do think I want to do an entire episode on like the delusional Fujo.
Why
But
do you
like,
want to do an episode on me? What did I do?
I mean, me when I was younger and you always.
I don't know how to turn it off.
But like, I want to do an episode on that. But I was also thinking, it's like, I remember hearing that feedback a lot when I was younger. Like, oh, you'll see any two guys and just think that they're kissing. And it's like, have you seen the way that Cyclops looks at Wolverine?
I
Like, I'm
mean,
not crazy. Like, I'm not.
no, but and again, like, but and also, no, it's not like that, there. Sometimes we need we need some chemistry or whatever, but yeah, sometimes I just look at two characters and I'm like, you know what, it would be really hot if they kissed, and then I don't know, but yeah.
That's why we're doing the delusional Fujo
Ugh,
episode. But
don't talk to me,
yeah,
I'm still watching 911. Send
I
help. Buck
know.
just broke up with his girlfriend. I think it's happening. I
Okay.
am I'm so
Okay.
sad.
But I think that that's such an interesting aspect to the conversation is that male versus female gaze aspect.
Mm,
Is, sometimes when these characters are framed to be peak masculinity,
mm,
they just don't represent that.
no.
Um, and I think that that's more interesting. That's one of the spaces that I know I love crawling into, like as a fanfic writer. Like
Mm,
that's one of those spaces that I thrive in, where it's like,
yeah.
ooh, this character made a reference to something. Let me just squeeze on in here
Mm-hmm.
and write
Mm-hmm.
50,000 words about it.
As one does. I don't like, no, that's the thing. This is why I don't understand casual fandom, people who just watch things. I mean, what do you mean you don't get entirely obsessed with this and then start filling in the gaps in your brain?
Right.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know how to do that.
No, we do not. We never did. It's how we are.
But
Yes.
also, and I think, I mean, we did touch upon this, but when you talk about the male versus the female gaze as well, and again, these misunderstandings that are coming with how people who criticize fujin or fangirls or the female gaze in general, like, they don't get it because, again, see the aforementioned discussion about bulky Wolverine men, like, and then but that like you say, another type of this, and like this is the whole episode, right? That we when it
Right.
comes to the fan service, like, if you look at Free, for instance, like, yeah, you get a lot of stuff for free because they are basically just running around in their swim trunks all the time, like, so
Right.
yeah, they show a lot of skin, but that's not the point. The fan service that tends to attract, and I'm not saying all of us, because I am also the person who,
Mhm.
hello, I'm a pansexual, who has absolutely no boundaries. I
Hide your
also
kitchen utensils.
like, hello, yes, I also enjoy the fan service sometimes that is
Right.
directed at the men. Like, I like, ecchi anime for various reasons or whatever, I still think, I think we talked about this. I think or else I talked about it with someone else. But I think the scene in Dress Up Darling when they're shooting in the love hotel
Mhm.
and she ends up on top of him is so well made because the tension is so real, and like, n- it, it's one of, like, because this is an ecchi. This is, I still think it's, I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I think it's done in a more classy way than a lot of, like, ecchi fan services series.
Mhm.
But that particular scene, I think it's so well made, and it's one of the sexier scenes I've seen that does
Mhm.
something like that. But with the Fujoshi goggles, you don't necessarily need to have them grinding on each other for it to
Right.
be fan service. And I think, again, that says a lot about how the bar is in hell regarding masculinity and male characters, and the
Mhm.
representation of men in general. That the real fan service is in
Mhm.
how do they how are their interpersonal relationships, how do they talk to each other, how do they look at each other, are they, like, it's everything else, and then we fill in
Right.
those gaps. Like, that's it. It's fine if they're naked and grinding on each other, but that's not necessarily the main draw compared to fan service, particularly an anime directed at men, which is typically boobs bouncing boobily and, like, very little clothing and panty shots.
Right. And I think it's interesting that you bring up that queer aspect because, hello, raging bisexual here.
I don't
I
understand.
is that like yeah, it's interesting to have that kind of relationship with fan service in that way that it's uniquely two different things. Like
Mm,
the fan service that I often imagine is more of that like shonen ecchi fan service. And when I think about it in the BL space, it's usually fan service isn't quite the word I'd use most of the time,
mm.
unless I'm like specifically referring to Japanese properties, which something that didn't make it to the document, but Corolla and I both talked about is the Code Geass side projects Knight and Queen.
Which
Uh,
are these series?
they're anthologies. They're
Okay, yeah,
multi-volume anthologies.
because yeah. I don't even want to say I'm familiar with the main story because I watched a video about Lelouch today because it popped up in my feed, and I was like, I cannot remember any of this. I think I need to go back and rewatch the show.
Amanda
But
and Corolla
yeah.
watch Code Geass 2026.
Oh, good God. Okay, I'm bracing myself. Let's do it.
Uh, but okay, so I'm the known expert on Knight and Queen. So Knight and
Yeah.
Queen are two different anthologies, and they'll get together all different kinds of mangaka and creators for this. I'm pretty sure Nakamura Asamiko did a Night illustration a
Oh,
while
yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like mangaka out the wazoo, and Night is based on the male characters. So it's a lot of Lelouch and Suzaku like having like dumb adventures, like getting ready for Valentine's Day and student council stuff. It's a lot of the boys together, just kind of doing what we would consider to be fan service activities. Again, like Curla mentioned, like, oh, it's the Cat Ears episode. Oh, it's the Alice in Wonderland dumb trope thing where
I'm just
everyone.
looking. I'm sorry, but I'm just looking at the front cover for the Night
Mm-hmm.
book, and yeah,
You need this.
that's yes, I do. That is gay as hell, and I need it. And
I have
my Susalulu heart just woke up from hibernation.
I have 2 volumes of Night.
Oh my god!
I don't have any volumes of Queen, and of course, Queen is for those filthy degenerate men who want to see ladies do stuff.
And yeah, like I'm also filthy and degenerate. It's just
same. Yeah. Like that wasn't said in shade. Like, that wasn't said with cruelties. Same. I also like watching C2 breast around boobily.
I mean, she's a good one.
But Night felt so much like, oh, the writers heard what we have been saying, which is Suzaku and Lelouch are married. Correct. It's a very tense marriage, but they are indeed married.
Most marriages are tense. It's okay.
Ours isn't that tense, is it? I hope it isn't.
No, but it was also an arranged marriage. You know how
it was also an arranged marriage.
Sometimes those are less tense because you
just because of Stockholm syndrome, you just accept it.
I was gonna say because the matchmaker really knows what they're doing and pair up like compatible people, but sure, your version also works very well.
But Night is so interesting because like that is fan service. That is fan service in the purest distillation. It's recognizing, oh, our fans want to see a certain type of content. Play it up.
Yeah.
And I think about how something like Night is perceived in fandom versus how, like, I couldn't imagine like a supernatural version of Code Geass Night, like the show Supernatural.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine like
I figured that's what you meant.
I couldn't imagine like the director and the writers coming together and making like a Supernatural fan book. They made a cookbook.
Of course they did.
Is it all pie? It's not all pie, but there is indeed pie present. I'm contractually obligated to say it is not all pie, but there is much pie.
But is an important question in regards to that, like, because the characters, at least the character design, I can't remember how involved they are with the story, but Clamp designed these characters. Is Clamp involved with the... Yes. Yeah, that, because that definitely adds to it. Because they know. They know.
And I think about, like, other Clamp pairings that exist. Kodofai comes to mind from Tsubasa, which is one of my favorite pairings of all time. I love Kodofai so much.
I had in like when I was like 15, I had a desktop background on my computer that was 2 guys from X, and I didn't read that manga until like I don't know 10 years ago or something like that, which was a big mistake because I really thought it was completed, and now I'm in pain and I hate my life. Anyway, I didn't know these dudes, but Clamp has, they do the thing, and someone made a fan art, and I was like, yes, hell yeah. I don't care who these 2 are. I'm putting them as my desktop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Clamp is always so interesting about that because, talk about a company that Fujin especially have a complicated relationship with. And I'll say queer fans in general, looking at you, Sailor Moon, is Clamp's willingness to get right up to the edge
Mm.
and then refuse to commit.
Mm. But simultaneously, they do have, which is why X isn't finished, because they also have this, like, they're not fucking around, they're not backing down. They're like, we want to end it like this, and the publisher was like, that is too controversial. You're not allowed to do it, and they're like, fine, then we're just going to wait around for 6,000 years until you let us do it. Which, first of all, I respect that, and it is giving my queen, Takemiya Keiko, when they wouldn't publish Kazutoki no Uta the way it was, and she like fought for it for like 6-8 years to get it published. So I respect that, but at the same time I understand what you're saying. But I also think Clamp, they're interesting because, again, just looking at both the men and the women from Gias, but like looking at, like, they are masters at catering to both camps. They are masters at male and female fan service. They're just giving everyone. Absolutely. They're just serving.
Yeah. Well, and I say, like, refusing to go over the edge more like in a group way versus like individual writer way. Because you're right. There are instances where it's like, oh no, this is canon queer and you're not taking this away from me. But then you get instances, again, Kodofai looms very, very largely in my head, where it's like, just say they're married. Just say it. I won't spoil anything in this 30-year-old series.
One day I will get on it, but my life.
Literally the only reason why I can't talk about the ending is because of Corolla.
I'm sorry.
It's not your
I mean, at this point, it's kind of a flex. It's like this is a 30-year-old series, and I actually don't know how it ends. Wow.
So I can't talk about the ending because Corolla is here, but trust me, it just ended with canon queerness. But yeah, like, there's this willingness from Clamp the group and many of the Clamp mangaka to push that envelope and to really fall in to using fan service again for what it's used for, which is money. Like, they know they can market Kodofai very easily. They know they can sell an entire anthology like Knight and Queen. They're confident that they can do that, and they did. Hello, yes, I own it.
Yeah. And like, similarly to that, who else does that? Just pulling an example out of thin air, Yana Toboso. Because, like, I was seeing some stuff. I saw a post. It was a post on Twitter that was like, someone had posted the artist for Twisted Wonderland has to be the same as for Black Butler, and one day I will prove it. And someone had quote tweeted it with, "Sweetie, I'm gonna hold your hand while I say this." And I'm like, God, no one knows how to use Google anymore. But it's such a good example because I don't think Twisted Wonderland would have been as popular and, like, all of these cosplays and all of these characters and the fan arts and everything if it hadn't been Yana Toboso, who are the people? Hello, I am that people. I don't know anything about Twisted Wonderland, but what I do know is that because it's Yana Toboso's art, I am immediately drawn to it, and I immediately start looking at it with that queer gaze, because she knew what she was doing when she was putting that corset scene in Black Butler. That's all I'm saying. That is there for one reason and one reason only.
I feel like we need to have a Black Butler episode.
We do.
And that doesn't bring me a lot of joy because I fell off really hard.
Yeah, I've fallen off in multiple occasions. Do you have the document? Okay, yeah, I see you.
Doing it right.
I was like, oh, okay, so there you
are. Like, we have to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, but exactly, like, and I know, so for me, Twisted Wonderland's a great example to bring up because, like, I know I've had friends talk to me about it, and their pitch to me is always like, oh yeah, it's like hella kind of shippable and gay. And it's like, oh, okay. And then great character design. And also, I would be a Disney adult if I made more money. And I think if I had less social anxiety and made more money, I would probably be like what some consider to be a Disney adult. I really like Disney, or like at least like those old
Yeah.
Renaissance Disney
Yeah, me
animations.
too. Like, 'cause that's, I really enjoy
So
that. And I love watching like posts, like TikToks and stuff of the
yeah,
the performers.
yes. So like there's a Twisted Wonderland is one of those things that feels like it was created like for me. Like who went into my brain while I was sleeping and was like, you
I am also there. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't create spoiler, I didn't create Twisted Wonderland, but yes.
But yeah, like yeah, we are gonna have to do a Black Butler episode, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah, we do. It's
I
gonna be
fell off.
fine.
I fell off so hard.
Yeah. I don't
I
I don't remember because I was reading the manga. I fell off after the whole Titanic arc, I
yeah.
think. And then but I did watch the school season, Midori Gakuen, and that aired a couple of years ago, and then I fell off again.
The not Harry Potter special.
Yeah. Which,
And
by the way, the main reason that I watched it was because some of those character designs were speaking directly to me. Okay, listen, the purple one, the purple Visual K one. I was like, hello, did you make him for me?
I think that that's so interesting to talk about. We talked about fan service as a means of like latching people in and how it works. And like, yeah, like I saw a scene from Twisted Wonderland, and it was of their Cruella DeVille, who's just a hot guy, and it was like, oh hi, is this about to become my entire personality? I think so. And like,
yeah, so no, and I get like, and it's so easy because let's go back to what I talked about when I talked about the Hitachin twins that led me down a spiral that I can now never get out of. And you know how Ursula has Flotsam and Jetsam, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, they've humanized Flotsam and Jetsam," and without even knowing, like I didn't know what they look like. All I know is, okay, I know who designed this, and I know that they will probably be like twin characters. I am so hair. Like I don't even care. I don't need to know anything. Don't tell me anything. And I was invested before I knew anything.
Exactly. And I think that that's so interesting how fan service can work in that way. Like, again, I think
conditioning through fan service.
Yes. But
I'm
I think
victim.
I think that's why it was so important for us to separate when we say fan service, we very, very rarely mean it in a negative way. I think when most people say, oh, this was fan service what they mean is this was queerbaiting. And they say fan service, and it's not appropriate in that instance. And like, I'm not here to police language or anything, obviously. I'm worried those fucking Gen Z kids will come after us. I'm not trying to police language. But I think it's actually been kind of detrimental to the discourse that we've used fan service and queerbait interchangeably because they're not. I think a lot of fan service can be quite positive.
Yeah, and like I said that, and I've said that multiple times. I love fan service, and obviously I lean in this direction because I am a fujin at heart, and a lot of the male gazy fan service doesn't really do it for me. But that has a lot to do with my preferences, including in fiction. So, for instance, I watched. I don't even remember what it was called. It was like no, it's like years ago. But I watched this anime that was like, I want to say Arslan Senki, but that was something else. But it was like a bunch of like ninja girls, and I wanted to like, I started watching it because I was interested. Like I didn't think it was going to be any like the next great big plot or anything. I just thought it sounded fun, but then the focus was so much on the fan service, and then the way that like it's one of those things, when they only focus on the fan service and they don't develop the characters. And I maybe I'm like demisexual and I'm just like I need the character to have some personality for me to sexualize them. But it was just it was a combination between how the characters were underdeveloped combined with the
Mm-hmm.
fact that their the appeal wasn't what appeals to me. So I wasn't the
Mm-hmm.
target audience. But a lot of the time, I really enjoy these things, and I get really annoyed when, again, fandom can be used to spread awareness, and it can be used,
Mm-hmm.
as activism. Like we've seen this again. I keep bringing up Thailand, and how the BL scene over there has actually
Mm-hmm.
impacted and works with societal changes, but
Mm-hmm.
but fandom isn't inherently political and fandom isn't inherently activism, and it is
Mm-hmm.
perfectly fine for a show to just be dumb and fan servicey. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
people, it's like, not to sound like one of those feminism has gone too far people, because I that is not it. Clearly, have you seen the world?
We
But
have
I
too many
think
rights.
but I think that sometimes you just have to like separate those things and just like enjoy a
Right.
silly show for what it is, because it's
Right.
like I don't expect, like, of course I can get annoyed sometimes, because we talk about this all the time on the show about how underdeveloped female characters turn us into misogynists. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll be watching a show and there's like too much fan service and I'll be like, oh, I'm so tired. Do we have to see her boobs again? Like I just want to get through the show. But
My steak is too juicy. Do we have to see her breasts again?
exactly. And I go, and I bring my feminism into it, and
Mm-hmm.
but then it's like sometimes you just got to leave those things at the door. And it's the same thing
Absolutely.
with BL. Like I say this time and time again that it is okay sometimes to just enjoy that show. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be life altering and super deep. Maybe it's just two dudes fucking.
Yeah. No, I think that's interesting because I remember like when I was going through my phase where I was dating, like in like online dating hell, one of the things I got like once was like, oh, well, if you're so intellectual, I bet you don't like, I bet you only watch like certain kinds of movies. Like, no, Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite directors. Like, I can put all that stuff in a box
Yeah.
and go watch Kill Bill. Like, there's a difference. Am
Yeah.
I aware of the problems? Yeah, sure. It doesn't
Yeah.
go away,
But it doesn't
but
have
I
to
can put
ruin the yeah, it doesn't have to
but,
ruin the
yeah.
experience.
And I think that's interesting to say about anime and fandom is that like, yeah, I think it's when you're trying to push activism onto a show where it's not there. So like
Mm.
Free is a great example. Again, we could not apply Yuri on Ice fandom activism to Free. We can't. We just can't. The characters aren't that deep. The story's not that deep. Nothing is that deep. I think the
The
pool isn't even that deep.
the ocean where Ray almost drowned was that deep. I am not okay. I'm still
Okay, well,
processing. I'm fine.
it's been 20 years.
Listen,
It's been 20
I
years.
I was not prepared. I was like, hell yeah, beach episode. And then Ray is like, what if I go practice swimming? I can't swim, by the way, in the ocean during a storm. And I never recovered.
But like sometimes things are trying to say something. I think Yuri on Ice for a little while was trying to say something. And that's why I got frustrated with it.
Mm.
I think for a little bit it was trying to say something. It wasn't trying to say it very well, but I think it was.
Yep, but I don't like I can never agree with myself on that, because I think if anything what Yuri on Ice was actually trying to say is that it is a giant love letter to the sport, because Sayokam and I can't remember the other one's name, like the creators are
Mhm.
massive figure skating nerds. Like that's why that's why they made this show. And so like I mean, and that was again my main takeaway from this show for the longest time.
And that's
And then
fair.
and then of course it's interesting because if you look at it from a, like I said, a real life perspective and an activist perspective, and not least the sports perspective, because regardless of what people think about figure skating, which tends to be written off as this sissy sport, there are very few open queer athletes in figure
Mhm.
skating. It's an incredibly homophobic sport,
Mhm.
and for them to make it gay and then make one of them Russian. That was
Yeah.
very interesting. I think.
Well, that's
But
why I thought it was trying to say something.
yeah,
Like, I
but
didn't pull
I'm
that out of
not.
my ass.
But I'm not sure. I don't know. Like to this day, I don't know. But
That's fair. But like, yeah, there is a place and a time for that. Like,
hmm.
um, I used to record all of my college anime club episodes, and we were talking about like that kind of like female fan service. And one of my kohai asked me about like my favorite female character in Bleach. And I mentioned a couple, and then someone was like, "What about Rangiku?" And like, you can just see like the dumbest grin on my face. It was like, "Oh yeah, I do like that thick woman."
Hmm.
Uh, and like, there's a place to have both of those conversations in one. There is a place to have that conversation about, okay, well, Kubo does the thing that a lot of shonen mangaka do, which is their characters might be very, very physically developed, but they
Mm-hmm.
aren't always very actually developed. There's a conversation there. I can also just enjoy big tits sometimes.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I love that for you.
Thank you.
In the
And I
same,
think,
you know what I can
mhm,
think. I think that Sailor Moon, great queer representation in so many ways. But also I just want Sailor Uranus to step on me, and those like that can be a separate thing from me looking at how progressive it is that Uranus and Neptune are, just unapologetically gay and adopt a
mhm.
child. Like that's great and progressive, but also I want her to step on me. Those
This is
things.
where I have this is where I have to reveal I wasn't a Sailor Moon gay.
I know you weren't. You've told me.
Well, we have Cruella. This could be someone's first time meeting us.
I don't know why. What kind of person would see our thumbnail and see that we're live and just like randomly decide? I don't know.
You're
Hello,
scared.
if this is you,
I was
please
gonna
say.
say you're scaring them away. You're being inhospitable. Um, but I wasn't a Sailor Moon gay. I love that for you, but I was like, I don't. But and I think that's one of the reasons why it's so important to call a spade a spade. When we say that we don't like fan service, we typically mean we don't like queer bait. And I think queer bait, especially the kind that is very, very intentional,
Mm.
is damaging. Now, sidebar, something that we didn't get to talk about during the main episode is when it's not actually queer bait and it's just fans not getting their way.
Why are we in hell? When did
I
this
mean,
happen? Can you imagine just like think of any show from your teenage years and
mhm,
and your ship not becoming canon and then
mhm.
you just start harassing the creator. Like try to imagine yourself doing that in 2006.
Oh my god!
I mean,
You
I
want me
guess
to?
you'd have to write a letter to
Yeah, I'd
the
have to write a letter to Rumiko Takahashi.
you couldn't even write directly to her. You'd have to write to the publisher or to
I
the
have to write a
English
letter to
publisher.
Viz and
Yeah.
then say, please send this to Viz Japan. Viz Japan, please drop this off at Rumiko Takahashi's door in big bold letters. Why did you ruin Shishomaru?
Exactly. So yeah, it wasn't as accessible, and I think it was a better time. But also, again, it was because, and again, there is a part of that is going back to when we talked about the barrier gaze trope and all of these things. Like some of this is rooted in the fact that queerness was invisible, and you couldn't show certain things because it would just get it wouldn't even get you on the air, and if you were on the
Mhm.
air you'd get canceled or they'd demand that you kill off this character. So
Mhm.
yeah, times have changed.
Time,
Clearly.
times have changed a lot. And I don't want to say this is a majority of fandom because here's the one thing I find that's really, really frustrating about the internet is that like a news story will get picked up and it's like thousands of fans complain. And it's like, okay, that's,
Yeah.
it's
And
not
then
thousands.
again, it's the hellscape
Yeah.
that is algorithms, because once you interact with something and that
Yeah.
interaction can be something as small as just you clicking on it to see what it is,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily retweeting or liking
Mm-hmm.
or sharing or whatever, but the internet is like, oh, you like this content, let me tell you how much I do not like this
Um,
content.
that recent drama for me was Knights of Guinevere, which is a show that I don't really care about. It gives me Steven Universe vibes. But there's like a butch lesbian in that show.
Mm.
Like she's a canon butch lesbian. And people were mad at the creators that it wasn't like a trans femme. And it's like cis lesbians still exist. Like
No, according to the
no.
Turks, that's not. I don't know. Haven't you heard the lesbians are all being eradicated? This
Stares at Harry Potter artifact that I'm getting rid of.
I
But
don't
like
know. I don't know if this is a saying outside of Sweden, but I know that in Sweden, the gays have like a thing where they say that if the world ends, the only things that will be left is Cher and the lesbians because they're indestructible. And
yes,
I
yeah, that's not ours, but I love it.
yeah, because it's I've heard the one with Twinkies and Cher, but in Sweden they believe in the lesbians.
I mean, ours still involves share, which I think is like a beautiful
Yeah, like
moment.
Cher is indestructible in every culture. Okay.
Like ours is typically roaches and share.
Yeah. I've heard that one too.
But I love that regardless. Share is surviving.
Cher is the common denominator. You cannot take her down.
But like, I think it's so interesting that we do have these moments. And again, like we talked about this in our Patreon episode. So if you want to go do that, fun announcement. We actually just included our $5 patrons in our behind the scenes videos and our exclusive videos. So you can join our Patreon starting at $5 a month, guys.
And then you get to watch a lot of incredibly unhinged content.
Exactly. But we talked about that during the Patreon episode, and where it's like people are like echo chambering out like queer bait zoning themselves. And it's like, well, of course this isn't gonna be gay. You knew that. You had to know that. And then they get upset and like attack an author, and it's like, but no, sweetheart. There are instances where there is genuine cases of queer bait. This is not one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And I mean, I've said that before. This is one of those things where, and I mean, you can disagree with this. I sometimes, I also disagree with this to a certain extent because sometimes, and this is particularly in manga, and I think especially in shonen and probably other genres, because obviously not like romance, because romance tends to have that it's going to end. The main couple's going to get together. That's just how it goes. That's the point of the romance genre. But in, for instance, shonen and seinen and adventure type series, there will be one or multiple love interests and like ships and couples, but by and large, they will do basically the dating sim solution where they don't end up with anyone because they want everybody to basically leave satisfied. And sometimes I disagree with that, because I think that if the creator has a mind where it's like, well, in my mind this is how it's canon, like this is how it ends up, and they refrain from letting characters get together because they want to please all the fans, I don't necessarily agree with that. But on the other hand, that is that's a much better approach, I think, to ending a series compared to forcing couples together and making everybody miserable. And I'm not thinking of a certain manga at all here, but sometimes
I love that we each have a manga in mind.
Yeah.
And they're different.
Yeah, they're not the same one.
But the feeling is the exact same.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual. And it's like because sometimes, that open ending is a better ending. I am fine.
But no, it's true. And it's like, I think there is such a difference between, like, I'll make it about my example versus yours. So one of the open-ended series that I really, really enjoyed is something more like Full Metal Alchemist versus the way that Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood ended, where it was this Brotherhood had to end. Yes, Brotherhood had to end with everyone fucking getting married and shipping off together, while the original Full Metal Alchemist anime run definitely left things a little more open and up to interpretation. And I like that for a myriad of reasons. One, because these are some very, very fundamentally broken characters who aren't in a place for that right now,
Yeah.
and then save dissertation for later. But there's something very, very different to that than saying something like, yeah, at the end of Sherlock, there should have been some kind of queer acknowledgement of Moriarty,
Mm.
even if Sherlock rebuffs his feelings, which he has every right to and should. I like toxic yaoi, but not that much. But there needed to be some kind of queer acknowledgement of Moriarty's character and Moriarty's everything. And then you don't get that. The Destiel example I won't rehash for this live stream.
Go back and basically look at any of our episodes for the Destiel flashback.
But like that is so different than my ship didn't sail.
Yeah.
That is so different.
Exactly.
Then, well, Corolla, cover your ears. Of course Naruto wasn't going to end gay.
You know?
Yes.
No, but that's the thing, though. And I've said that before, and I have said that on this podcast. There are witnesses. I didn't genuinely think they would end up together. However, I also did not think they were going to survive.
Yeah, no, I'm teasing you.
Yeah.
I know that.
No, yeah, but exactly. But like, again, I'm not upset. I mean, I'm a little upset that Sasuke and Naruto didn't end up together. But the main reason I'm so upset is because it's such a lazy ending, and it's a cop-up ending, and
exactly.
It's like because they did it so they could make a sequel that Kishi originally didn't even want to make. Like that,
exactly.
It's a non-canonical sequel that nobody wanted, and then of course you can talk about things like, because that's the thing. We are not going to talk about this. We did a whole episode on them, but like that's the thing, though. Again, I can say that out of anything, like I could accept, you know, within reason, I can accept Naruto ending up with Hinata for the sole reason that I love her. She's wonderful, and she has been dedicated to him since day one.
Yeah.
And he is a sweet person, and I think that if he got to know her, I think that, yeah, I can see that working for them because they are more compatible. The other two are not, and never have been, and never will be. And that doesn't have anything to do with the fact that Sasuke is gay, but he hates her.
We don't have time to talk about this today. Oh,
but yeah, this is a very roundabout way of saying I'm not upset because my ship didn't sail.
right.
Mostly, I'm mostly upset because of the way that it was.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think even that is a very different case than other instances. I'm looking forward to seeing how Trigun Stargaze and future Trigun series handle the unbearable weight of overwhelming queerness. And I think, you know, the original Trigun tried to do its best that, you know, Vash womanized, but he definitely really wasn't super attracted to anyone except for me, except for arguably Wolfwood. I cannot wait to see how like Stargaze has to handle that, because I know they're going to try to like dumb lazy ship Meryl and Vash, which is a great pairing on its own. It's not my favorite, but it's a good pairing. I'm so excited to see how they are staring at the barrel of this like Vashwood gun and how they're gonna try.
This is why I think that a lot of things don't get adaptations, because they're just looking at it and they're like, there's just no way to do this.
Well, and I think Stargaze has its own unique issue because it isn't just Vashwood that they have to contend to. It's also Plant Cest. So they have these two giant mountains staring at them, and it's like, somehow we have to make this heterosexual.
I mean, they don't have to, but yeah, no, but yeah, I know. but again, it's different because it's like
But I think that there needs to be a space where we can talk about the disappointment of a ship not sailing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, as a fan, you put in so much time and energy and all of this. Like, you are losing sleep over your ship. You are writing and reading fic instead of sleeping or doing your homework or doing whatever you're supposed to be doing. You're becoming completely unhinged, and then your ship doesn't sail. But here's the thing, all of those feelings are still valid. And like, I don't care if, again, Naruto ends at 699. That's it. Like, I will not acknowledge anything after that. But like, I'm still, regardless of how it ended, whether he let them end up with each other or with someone else or killed them both, I am still so grateful to Kishi for having created these characters that I love more than anything, and all that they have given me, and all the heartache that it has given me, and how much pain I have been in since 2006. Thank you very much. But like, you are entitled to have your feelings, including those of disappointment, but you can't, like, you have to be realistic. We don't always get our way.
Right.
And you can't harass people over a ship. Like, you should never harass people over a ship, regardless.
That's the big thing. And I think for me for for me, what ends up being so detrimental about this conversation ends up being that like fan outcry issue. Like, I talked about without spoiling the end of My Hero Academia and people being like tweeting at Horikoshi big mad that Bakudeku wasn't the canon ending. And it's like, but you knew. You had to know.
Yeah.
And it's not the disappointment that we are responding negatively to. Because TBH, I can see where they're coming from. I don't like him as a pairing, but I can definitely see where they're coming from. It's what you do with that. And I think that's so interesting, especially from like a fanfic writer perspective of like, well, this is why fanfic exists.
Yeah.
Is so that we don't have to accept canon. Like, that's the whole reason we're here. We do have one more thing we need to talk about as we approach, as we pass our hour mark.
Can I also just interject at the end of the whole how you respond to the ending that you didn't want thing?
You may.
Yeah.
You may.
Which is again, we also can't keep applying malicious intent to the creator. Like, sometimes there is queer bait afoot. But again, if you look at, again, historical, cultural context, all of these things, the way that Western showrunners or Western writers versus Japanese and Chinese, and like, there are all of these elements that go into it that also affect how these stories are told and how it ends up and who gets together or not. But also, a lot of the time, the author has an ending in mind. They have, maybe their focus lies on something else, and we as fans tend to get so focused on, again, Naruto isn't, yes it is, but like, there are other things. There's a whole universe in there that I have chosen to disregard because I have laser focused on these two characters. But the creator who has made this universe and has made all of these things has to wrap up all of the other things as well. Like, it doesn't mean that they're homophobic. It doesn't mean that they intentionally baited you. It doesn't mean, like, we need to stop thinking that just because we don't get our way, that is an intentional kick to the face to you personally from the creator. That's usually not how it is.
Yeah, I think that's a big differentiator, is that it's not personal. Now, sometimes it is. Destio. Sometimes, sorry. Sometimes it is.
Terrible cough you got there.
I'll get you a breathing treatment later. Make sure my lungs are open. Sometimes it is. And sometimes it's just not. Do you want to talk about, I think, probably one of the more contentious parts, though, of the free fandom? And this is one of the parts where I will say old fandom was wild. And I think this is probably where some of our worst behavior, I don't want to say started, because like, we were always bad, but like, I think this is where some of our worst behavior solidified.
I don't even know where we are in the outline. So yeah, yeah,
Shipping wars.
oh, yeah. I thought so. Yeah, because I was
Again,
like,
like I'm
is this the part where we're gonna fight each other again? Because
yes, yes, it is
yeah, okay,
because some of us are incorrect.
yeah, some of
Um,
us are wrong.
yeah, some of us are wrong, and that happens, and it's okay to still love people that are wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes, your friend has a terrible opinion that doesn't actively harm anyone, but it's just wrong. And you just have to love them and accept them for who they are and their wrong opinions and try to help them, guide them into the light.
Yeah, sometimes your friend makes just a really, really poor choice,
Sometimes
and
your friend completely misses the point of the show and didn't understand what it was about, or rather who it was about.
sometimes your friend watches an entirely different show that's made up completely.
I don't understand. Yes, actually that. But yeah, Uno reverse.
This could
Anyway,
go on for an hour.
this is the part where if you have access to a keyboard, back me up in ye old comments if you
You don't get to do that.
Yes, I do.
You're not fucking Joan of Arc. You don't get to summon keyboard warriors. Fuck you.
Excuse me, I missed the part of history where Joan of Arc summoned keyboard warriors.
She
Is this
summoned an army.
okay? Yeah, no, yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just imagining.
There were no keyboards.
This is this is TikTok education at its finest. People are using Chat GPT, and now it's like Joan of Arc was a keyboard warrior.
I was watching the Russian Badger because occasionally my brain is that of a 16-year-old boy. And one of his friends made a comment about giving Rosa Parks a gun and it would make the Underground Railroad very different. And it's like Rosa Parks was not alive during the Underground Railroad. That was hundreds of years. Please, I need you to understand that was hundreds of years apart.
No, it's fine. I'm also thinking that I don't think it would have been very good for the cause if Rosa Parks had a gun. I don't see how that would stop racism. I mean, I'm on her side. Like, if she had a gun,
Okay,
good.
so we're gonna talk about free now because I can't.
Well, you don't want to spend our precious lifetime talking about Rosa Parks with a gun.
I mean, I do, but like in our forbidden private chat because yes,
Oh
but
I'm in pain. You're hurting me.
I think some of the places where some bad fan behavior started really to solidify was in the very contentious free shipping wars. Don't look at me like that.
I'm not looking at you. I'm staring into the abyss and thinking about all of my friendships that became messed up when season 2 came around.
Right, and I think that's I think now with frontal lobes fully developed. I mean, I say that like we were teenagers when Free came out. We weren't. But like with a little bit more life experience and everything, I can say that maybe that wasn't the reason to stop talking to people.
I mean, I didn't stop talking to anyone.
I know you didn't.
But I do have friends who I good-naturedly fight every time we talk about Free.
I have a name.
You're not the only one, though. There are many of these friends.
So multiple people acknowledge you're wrong.
Multiple people around me have no sense of they're just completely delusional. All of them. I don't understand. They also have no spine and no they could never exist in the age of the shipping manifesto because they don't have any loyalty because they switched pairings and I don't think that's fair.
Cowards.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Cowards. But I think shipping wars are a thing that you get when a fandom can kind of split in both directions. I think a lot more shows than you think have shipping wars, but I don't think that there was one at the time as contentious as Free because so much of Free felt like an Ultimate game where like no answer was really wrong until you get to season 2. But like that first season where everyone first came in, there is a plausible argument for Haru and Rei. There is a plausible argument for Haru and Nagisa. It doesn't make sense, but there's a plausible argument. You can make a plausible argument for anything.
The argument for Nagisa is that Nagisa is a Shota sex demon and he could take anyone. However, he is married today, so there's that.
Yeah, so
I think that is the one that is kind of like universally the most agreed upon in that fandom. It's like Nagisa today, everyone knows that is like
But like Haru really was this like ultimate protagonist where like every other new character that I got introduced, like, oh, you could probably ship Haru with that because Haru didn't have a defining personality outside of loving water.
And that's the real pairing. We all know that the real OTP is Haru and water.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the true ship.
That's the true OTP. But for a while, you know, much like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, all the nations could get along for a little while. No one was really right. No one was really wrong. If you
the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, and then Ren attacked, which is why I have so much hostility.
Actually, that was not how that went.
But there was such a huge shift in fandom, especially around that second season, where the creators had to understand that adding more characters was not going to fix the problem. And when I say uncivil fandom behavior, I don't mean quite like current bad fandom etiquette, but as close as we could have gotten back in that time.
You know, I'm so glad that I was already, you know, kind of like on the outskirts. Yeah, I was a hermit. Yeah. Like, I've only ever argued with people in my real life circles about these ships. Because I was never active in free fandom outside of being, you know, on Tumblr when they dropped the trailer.
Well, and I think there is a very, very fine line between disagreeing, debating, and then like just being a bad person. Because like Carl and I disagree and like vehemently disagree. This isn't something that we like play up for laughs.
No, we
genuinely disagree.
And the thing is, and I know this, I know for sure that this goes both ways because we can absolutely banter about this.
Yes.
But at heart, we are annoyed with each other. We are like, like I am like you.
Because it's like, why can't you see what I see?
Like, what the hell is wrong with you? What we're kind of and but we are because we are. I mean, we're not going to end this podcast and this friendship. No, this just in. The Yaoi Shelf is cancelled. We've decided to end this show because due to unreconcilable differences.
Right, like we're not gonna do that. But like, yeah, this is not necessarily played up for laughs. We genuinely disagree on this.
Yeah, and we genuinely think that the other is wrong.
Yeah, we have similar feelings on gravitation.
I cannot believe that we are still doing this despite starting our friendship off by bonding over gravitation and then immediately just fighting about it forever. Like
I secured the pod wife, and then I immediately was like, by the way, my OTP is Kitazawa and Eri.
Do you remember? I don't know if you watched it. Like, because I've talked about Kiss Him, Not Me before, right? And again, like, I do love the manga. I'm not a big fan of the anime because of how they decided to voice the main character. Because again, why does she have to have a deep and strange voice when she's fat, and then she has like the pretty girl voice when she loses the weight? I think that is that was a choice that someone made, and I don't love it. What I do love though, that is like, and that is both in the manga and the anime, is that what is her name? Is like Serinuma. That's the main character, right? She is a Fujoshi. And you know, she loses all the weight because her favorite character in the dating sim she's playing, he dies, and she gets depressed and doesn't leave her room for an age and doesn't do anything. So she just Yeah, relatable. It
Yeah.
happens. And then she becomes friends with this group of boys, and she's a fujoshi. This is like a reverse harem, except she does not have any interest in these boys other than seeing them kiss each other. And then she meets this other girl in school who's this, again, speaking of types here, who is this androgynous, like, prince type girl who I'm going to be obsessed with from the moment I first saw her. And they immediately bond over being fujoshi and over objectifying this group of boys that they're friends with, only to have a massive fallout when they realize that in one of their fandoms they are shipping the opposite order. And it is the most relatable thing on the planet. Like, I love this episode. They just genuinely it's a great depiction of fan wars, actually, shipping wars.
So I think one, it requires you to be really, really well rooted in old fandom etiquette, which I'm realizing, again, we probably need to do an episode on.
Yeah, because we've done like
we've done it a lot at Citrus Con.
Yeah, but we haven't actually done an episode.
Yeah, and I realize, I'm the one plugged into the podcast. Our demographic does include people who do not know, who I think sometimes we take for granted that, like, it's a giant kiki with like a bunch of people our age and older. It isn't always. There are fans that are listening to this show that were not around.
If you are a token young person listening to this show, thank you. I feel
we appreciate it. Thank you. But like, they don't know what a shipping manifesto is. They don't know about headcanons and everything like that. But the shipping wars with Free were so interesting because I think it was one of the earliest moments I have of unsportsmanlike conduct. Where, like, oh, I'm being called a slur because I don't like. Like, it was one of my earliest. I
don't want to laugh because it's such a horrible, like I'm invested in my fictional characters. I'm not going to call anyone a slur.
Why was everyone calling each other slurs for a while?
Okay, but I also think, okay, hear me out though. There is an overlap in the timeline between Free and Hetalia, and I think that
is that why we were saying slurs?
I think so. I think the slurs may go back to the Hetalia era because I feel like that was a fandom that had absolutely no, like, it was completely out of control. I think, like, it almost makes sense in my head because it's like you are out there, like, role playing and headcanoning these characters who are manifestations of real countries who did horrible things. So why the hell wouldn't they call each other slurs when they were in character and cosplaying?
Listen, I was a part of the infamously bad DFW Hetalia. We did a lot of things. I don't recall there being slurs. Now, they did cosplay in front of the Holocaust Memorial and in the Cancer Memorial Plaza. Dresses Germany and Prussia. Don't do that. But no one called each other slurs.
I wasn't there. I didn't go there. I just...
I'm not saying we were right, but we didn't call... No. We weren't there yet.
This is a PSA to everyone listening, especially if you're a younger person. Slurs are not cool. And please don't... Like, and we are not making light of them. We're just laughing because the situation was insane.
No, but yeah, like,
that is just not that. Yeah, no, we don't do that.
But like, I think that's where Free is where I found, like, the start of Witch Cat.
Celebi is trying to eat the cord to my ring light.
Oh.
I might go dark because she might succeed. This is what she does.
I was gonna say, tell her she's big enough, but please don't fat shame the cat.
I mean, she looks like a little stuffed sausage in her little medical body.
Well, like, I think this was where we started. Like, Free was where I remember, like, there being insults where it's like, well, you're wrong, yeah, and like, say something mean, as opposed to, like, again, a show like Gravitation, where you had people that had differing opinions on who should have ended up with who. And as long as you could present your argument in a way that I'm not going to say was satisfying, but at least compelling, people could, even if they disagreed with you, respect you. Except for me, because I was over here like, Kitazawa's great.
Yeah, I don't respect you for that, actually.
Except for me, I'm the only one who was objectively wrong.
Oh God, you can admit it. No, but I mean, but we've also talked some about this before. Like, it was the Wild West, and everyone was
It
not
was.
nice. And like,
Yeah.
I remember some comment sections in like live journal communities I was in, and these are
Mm,
both like, you know, fandom, like ship fandom related, but also
yeah.
like in for instance like visual K communities, like
Mhm.
people were, they may not have called each other slurs, but I have seen some very terrible insults and a lot of W words get thrown around at other fans because they didn't agree with their opinion.
Right.
So it was a
And
time for that too in 2007.
and I think also what was interesting about the free shipping wars was that like it had to start reflecting what the fandom was saying. So like I remember, this is going to date me. If you ever questioned how old I am, this is going to date me. I remember following Funimation on Google Plus
Oh wow,
back.
Google Plus. I never
Yeah.
had Google Plus.
And Funimation was like doing all of the memes on Google Plus. It was very, very funny. And like you could see the shift from when they had to be, okay, well, all sides are valid. If you want to ship Haru with anyone, you can, to getting into like season 2 where it's like there is one right answer, and that causing a lot of fandom strife. Um
I mean, clearly I'm the only person who's in the right here because I and my compatriots on the same side, we all agreed that Rin Haru was the point of the series from the start, and I don't understand what they were trying to do after that. Like, I don't get it.
okay,
I don't
well,
get it.
you're entitled to your opinion. Don't tell any Corolla. She shouldn't listen to this. I
Yes.
actually just OT3 it now because I don't care. I'm tired of fighting with people. I'm lazy and I'm tired. Fine, OT3. Everybody fucking each other. It's a Haru bowl.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. For the most part, I'm kind of like on board with that. But I hate Sosuke so much that I don't want him anywhere
Well, I
near.
said OT3, not OT4, so I'm usually excluding Sosuke. I'm fine with double
Yeah.
teaming Haru.
I
Um,
mean,
if I include Sosuke, I want it to be him in a dedicated pairing with either Rin or with Makoto as like the boyfriends left behind, the exes left
yeah,
behind.
because that's what I ship. I ship Makoto and Sosuke out of necessity because they're the leftover boyfriends.
Not out
And
of
like
necessity.
Makoto is the perfect wife. And
She's
Sosuke needs someone to be taken, someone to take care of him, and it's perfect. And then if you want to like throw in a little extra firecracker, Kiss Me, he goes everywhere. Like that man, I swear, like that guy, that character was created for one reason only, and that was to be the slut that gets passed around. Like that is his entire purpose in this series.
but like the shipping wars and free were fascinating because I think it was that really really interesting shift of like, okay, well here's this well thought out shipping manifesto, and even if you don't agree with me, you can at least appreciate that this is something that I feel about strongly, to like that vibes based only kind of thing where it's like I like these two together. End of conversation. You are incorrect if you disagree with me.
Yeah. And I just had a thought, and it's like this might sound
Wow.
completely like, yeah, I know. I get those sometimes.
That
It's
was
very
meaner than I was
no,
expecting. I'm
like it's
sorry.
very confusing. I'm not used to it. It's yeah. No, but like I was thinking this also kind of feels not the
Mhm.
shipping war, but like what we were talking about previously, kind of feels like a side effect of the whole queer queer canon becoming more common. Like again, it is not like we're not exactly being spoiled. I mean,
Mhm.
if you look away from the BL industry, the like which is BL, which is supposed to be like this. If you look at other
Mhm.
things, like again, Yuri on Ice is not a BL. It's a sports anime that has a canon queer couple.
Correct.
Number 6 is a dystopian, futuristic, whatever that happens to have a queer couple, and with a lot of Western mainstream shows. Like look at Helliverse and how gay it is. Look at Arcane. Like yeah, we have a lot of queer couples now, and I think that maybe for a younger generation growing up and being used to actually seeing queer representation means that they just and also because we tend to get so in our heads that whatever we believe is the correct thing, and we live in echo chambers and algorithms that cater to those echo chambers, that you end up feeling like you're being queer baited if you're a younger person who didn't have to fight for these things.
Absolutely. And I think like
because
that,
because you're used to seeing it be canonized.
exactly. And I think like a lot of that is indeed generational, because so like you mentioned Helliverse, and I sighed deeply because I have very complex feelings about it.
I'm so glad I'm not deeply invested. Like I enjoy it, but I'm not invested, thank God.
Because I was deeply invested, was being the key word here.
I'm seeing so many things and I'm like, I'm so glad I don't go here.
Exactly. And it's like I think that's where it's generational, is that at the end of the day, even as bad as the free shipping wars were, we were just so glad to have something.
Yeah.
But like, even though Corolla and I disagree, at the end of the day, we both like the same dumb show.
Yeah.
So like we disagree, and we really disagree, but at the end of the day, like that doesn't ruin the experience of the show for us. We can still talk about it. We can still bond over it and hang out over it and discuss it, because even in disagreement, that doesn't ruin the show. And maybe the episode needs to be like old versus new fandom, but do it in a way that isn't just 3 hours of us whinging.
Yeah.
But those shipping wars were intense with free, and it was interesting to start to see the fandom shift in that way that looks more like it does now, where it's it's really very vibes based. You don't have to have a lot of canon reasons to feel anything that you feel, but you can have all the smoke when it comes to how you feel, and then just call someone a slur and they'll stop talking.
Yeah, but like and like it's not like, I mean, okay, maybe the slurs are new, but it's not like it's anything new to be like, to go off vibes, because again, sometimes we did that. Like remember the Tumblr era, again, not me, but all of the crossover ships, like yeah, no, but mostly because a lot of these were straight ships, so not me. But how the whole Disney DreamWorks thing, and people would be shipping, Jack Frost and Elsa, and Jack Frost and Hiccup, and there were all of these crossover things, and they were purely vibe based. And people have been doing that for ages, but I think the difference now is that everyone's headcanon, it's like, I'm special. Everyone's headcanon has to be everybody else's headcanon. And if you disagree, then you're a bigot and a homophobe and also probably a pedophile. Because sometimes all three.
Yuri on Ice trauma intensifies.
Again, I just want to know why my algorithms think that I enjoy this content. Like, yeah, I interact with it because it's there, because I'm trying to spread some media literacy. But that's the thing, because I'm following great people, like Airy and Liscourse, and like these people who are actively fighting, all of these insane purity culture, insane fandom takes. And then Twitter or whatever is like, oh, I see you like this. And then they only give me the sources that are all of these unhinged takes from the wrong side. I'm like, no.
But you're right that it is this interesting shift, because I think at the end of the day, regardless of how you felt about a certain property, we were all just excited to be there. And like even if you were dead wrong to someone, they could at least see your passion and feel your passion. Like that was one of the things I loved so much about shipping manifestos was even if you don't agree with that person, they have dedicated 10 to 20,000 words with sources as to why they feel that way. And I can disagree with you after reading all that, but I still come away with like, I have to respect this. This is your opinion that you formed. And again, I'm not saying that to be like a super structuralist. Yes, there are absolutely pairings that I ship because of vibes.
Yeah.
And I do. Not every pairing I like has a shipping manifesto to it. But when you are engaging in that fan space, having something like that was such an easy way to be like, we may disagree, but I'm always going to respect your opinion regardless.
Yeah.
Or at least, if I don't respect your opinion, I'm not going to say it to your fucking face.
Unless it's me, because you do that all the time.
You are wrong. Me personally.
Likewise. I don't usually get in your face about it, but if it's you.
Yeah. See, this is Cruella bullying Amanda month.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Is this the part where I have to bring up
what you
told me? No. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, actually, I'm going to punish you for being wrong about free ships. And so you are unfortunately going to have to help build it after all. I can't call you a slur, but I can. No.
I have some representatives to call about being forced into labor.
No, I'm not going to do that. No,
hello, Reverend Al Sharpton.
No, I would not do that to you. Again, I think that would not look right.
No.
I also don't think it would feel right.
It wouldn't.
All my white friends are going to build a pyramid because let's face it, they deserve it. And you can like have something to do with the interior or something. I don't know.
It's like painting a wall.
Yeah. I mean, you're all going in there with me when I die anyway. So like, it's not, I mean, it's fine. Maybe you can like organize my manga library or something in there.
I have to organize both of our manga collections and
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. But yeah, I definitely think that there is like an older fan etiquette episode in there, just because, again, like I think sometimes Corolla and I take for granted that we came up into this world and that for the most part our fans understand what that means. But yaoi fandom is getting younger and younger, and people don't remember that Corolla has an existential crisis.
Yes.
Corolla has a full existential crisis. And like, I think it's also important in how like that shapes us as fans. Like that cynicism that we talk about a lot, where it's like, yeah, I don't fall for things the way that I used to when I was younger. Yeah, because I'm pushing fucking 40. Of course I don't feel the same way I feel about.
Why do you have to say these things? I'm trying really hard to just like...
It's like, yeah, of course I don't feel the exact same way I felt about Naruto when I was 14.
Okay, neither do I. It's worse now.
Yeah, it's worse,
but yeah. No, but I agree. And then sometimes I think that is sad because again, there are things that come out now that I think that had I read this when I was 15, 16, 17, I would have loved it. But I am old, apparently pushing 40, and therefore I have seen a lot of things, and I'm dead on the inside, and I just can't. I just don't have the same enthusiasm, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, it does make me sad sometimes, but I think it also makes me appreciate the things that do make me feel that way. Like I find such a deeper appreciation for the shows that do still, and especially when it's a newer one. Yes.
I'm just I'm just thinking about how Kin Porsche made me feel alive again. I will never love anything. Oh my
Frankly, a
god.
little too alive for my taste, but I'm gonna have to frankly a little too alive for my taste, but
I,
that's
I,
fine.
I can but I can understand how it could be confusing because you knew me before it came out,
I
and so
did.
you knew the husk of a person I'd become, and then all of a sudden there's this vibrant like
I wouldn't even say it was vibrant. You were still a husk of a person with everything else. You were just somehow harder to get a hold of, and I couldn't ask you about anything without you talking about it for an extended period of time.
I yeah and that does still happen
I
sometimes.
know.
I saw we were watching something yesterday. What the hell was that? I don't even know, but I was like, I may be completely brain rotted, but I think it's because of the way he's sitting and the way half of his face is covered, and you can kind of see the color of his shirt, and therefore this makes me think of Kin. And Rura was like, you're not okay."
I feel like Rora and I would get along very, very well
I,
just
I feel
watching
like
you do nonsense.
there are some things that you could definitely bond over. I think she's, you're both long time suffering with me. Her more than you though, but
I was
like
about to say she has me lapped.
you, you do not know what she's
Yeah,
had to
no,
do.
I do not claim Corolla's struggle bus in that fight. There there are other instances where I get to wave that flag. This is not one of them.
That poor girl. She's just she's just trying her best. And then she'll be like she'll come in and she'll be like, "How was your day?" And I'm just like on the couch like just groaning because everything is horrible. Yeah. But sometimes
But
fandom is good.
I I I think at the end of the day, I hate to sound sanctimonious, but like what was
Do
that?
you? Do you though?
Can I fucking help you?
Pope Amanda's in the house again.
Can I fucking help you? Oh my
Actually,
god.
no, you can't. You can't. There's nothing. There's no
Oh
hope.
my god. Just wig snatched. But no, like I think this show, this community reminds me of what I love about fandom so
Yeah.
much. It's why we keep doing it. I as much as I struggle with some aspects of modern fandom, I'm still so in love with what fans can do
Yeah.
with our power, with our ability, with our
Mm.
voice. That it's always really, really hard to think about leaving.
Yeah,
That
and I
sounded
mean,
really ominous. I'm not going fucking anywhere. I've been here since
yeah, like
I live in the
same.
walls.
I mean, I may be a hermit, like
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm not going anywhere. And I think that, and I also
Yeah.
think that that is very interesting to see how, like in my case, and many that I know, but having moved on, like grown up in fandom, grown up
Mhm.
with fandom, and
Mhm.
now reached a point of I love it so much that while I may not participate as much in the fandom practices like in the social aspect anymore as I did
Mhm.
when I was 15,
Mhm.
the greatest joy that fandom gives me now is doing, like doing research on it, hosting, like doing stuff like this and talking to scholars and doing panels where I talk about this. Like that's, and just like looking at it from a historical and academic perspective, I guess. I mean, I'm not an academic, but
That was a struggle. I was like,
I was trying to find the right word. I don't know. Is this social anthropology? I don't know. But like I'm over here just like I just love reading about it and reading other
mhm,
people's research on it and seeing
mhm.
how impactful and important it is and how it develops and how it grows. And sometimes that growth is ugly, but it's also mostly good. We just forget about it because the world is on fire and we don't know what queerbait is anymore.
Well, I hope after this episode you all have a very, very clear idea.
I do hope so.
And if not, you're welcome to talk to us in comments if you're still confused. Wow, we really did something great there, didn't we, Corolla?
I feel like this was a very hinged live.
Well, because we kept to our word and we maintained the outline. The only thing we did not talk about was the Tin Dance trailer.
Yes.
Do you want to rope that in really fast, or do you want to save that for Discord?
I want to talk about you mentioned it. Cat's out of the bag. We can talk about it a little. Oh, there's a person in the chat.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Yes. Yes, very much so. I agree.
Agreed.
As creators and writers, even though we hate talking about it, we agree.
You know, a common thread that I've been seeing a lot in our comments is for us to talk about us being writers more. Hello, welcome. Hi. People want to hear us talk about being writers more, Corolla.
I guess. I mean, we are contractually obligated to talk about it at least once a year.
Mm-hmm.
We try our best.
Mm-hmm.
What is that face? Do you expect me to carry this conversation?
You are the published writer.
I am in the trenches of editing hell. If anyone wants to talk to me about it, you can try tagging me on Discord. Maybe I will see it, but I might also be dead. I've been productive today.
Yes. Very good.
But I'm also in this hellscape where I'm doing what I didn't do with this book when I first published it, which is killing some darlings. I mean, I did kill my darlings because, spoiler, I do kill a character. He still dies. But I'm cutting things out of the script that could have been cut in an editing session early on that I didn't do, and I'm doing it now because I've always hated this stuff and I don't want it in my book anymore. But also I'm adding new things.
Which I get a cameo in one of your books?
I guess. Haven't we talked about this? I think I said I think I said I could like slip you into my ghost marriage.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, you don't get
cameos in one of my fics.
You don't get to be part of the ghost marriage because I think that would be weird. My ghost is monogamous, but but you can like cameo. I can make you into like a grudge character.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no. Yeah. No. Yes, this was me talking about writing for a little bit. I hope you're happy.
Yeah, Corolla gets to make Corolla made a cameo on one of my fics, so.
I don't understand why you'd want me in there, but
because you're my friend and I like you. What do you fuck? All the Norwegian just came out. It's like, I don't know why. You're my friend and I find you an enjoyable person, even when you're wrong.
I don't know. I'm too Norwegian for this.
But okay, Tin Dance trailer.
Tin Dance
looks amazing.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I've been saying this since they dropped the first teaser image.
Mm-hmm.
Like this casting, they look perfect.
They do.
They look I can't. And then they were dancing, and I was like, I love it. I'm gonna try to stay positive because I have seen some things that piss me off that are not related. Like again, I love Ten Dance. I'm so hyped for the series. I might become a horrible version of myself when this actually airs, and I should probably reread the volumes that I own. But I have seen some
with this.
I mean, good. And then we can do an episode on it, and it's like, look at us doing something new, like covering something. Why do you look so unhappy?
I'm sorry.
It's like Amanda is faced with the possibility of having to talk about something that isn't 20 years old.
I didn't think I looked that bad.
No, it's okay. It's just because I can read you.
Suddenly deeply less interesting.
No, but I also think like I've seen some, again, because people don't
Yeah.
know anything. And I've seen some discourse that is
Mm-hmm.
not about ten dance, but it's about how people they don't know their BL history. So like
Mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of people who are like, I've seen some takes and then they've been refuted by people who actually
Mm-hmm.
know what they're talking about. But basically about how oh, this is like, it looks like the first good Japanese BL, which wrong. There has been so much good Japanese BL, live action BL that's come out in the past few years. But also the horrible 50-minute guy dies at the end, maybe they'll kiss movies that I had to live through in 2004, 5, 6. They walked so Thai BL could run,
Mm-hmm.
so Japanese BL could build on the Thai BL.
Mm-hmm.
We are not doing this. You do not get to compare them like that. That is, I this is a joyous occasion. They are giving us this for Christmas.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing is that to talk about that cynicism that we both have is like, I really want to get excited about something like Tin Dance. I'm already exhausted by the fandom and it hasn't even come out yet. Like I'm
Yeah, no,
already
yeah.
I'm
I
already so tired.
I know, and it's like, there are two wolves inside of you. And
Yes.
it's like it's that, and I mean, I'm a gatekeeper by nature. Like I'm
I'm
not hiding that from anyone. Like I may hide from you what I am gatekeeping. That's the whole point. But everyone knows that I am a selfish bitch and a gatekeeper, and I do that for my own sanity,
yeah.
purely self-preservation. And it's one of those things where I am, on one hand, again, from that BL historian
Mhm.
perspective, from that perspective where I love that this genre is expanding and all of these
Mhm.
things. I
Mhm.
love that we live in an era where the market is so saturated. We have so many options. And
Mhm.
the fact that this is coming to fucking Netflix shows how far we've come. On the other
Absolutely.
hand, it's coming to fucking Netflix.
Yeah. I
And
think
yeah.
I think that's where I am, is that it's like I I don't want this to be another Yuri
Mm.
on Ice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
feel it in my bones that it might.
Yeah.
And that kind of frustrates me because I actually really like Tin Dance. Like the the Yuri on Ice drama with me only compounded that I had mid feelings about it.
Mm,
Like I think if I actually liked Yuri on Ice, I probably would have been able to like weather the storm of the drama a little bit better.
mm.
But I already thought it was mid, and then everyone kept telling me that I was a bigot for thinking it was mid. And then I was like, literal queer person, hello. Oh,
I love that you're a bigot. Oh my god. Okay, that's a take. That's a
hello,
take.
hello, actual queer person here.
No,
What the
again,
fuck are you
uh,
on?
if you're a new listener, a new viewer who just happened to stumble upon this, you need to know that Amanda's the biggest scammer on the planet, and she's just running the world's longest long con. She's not queer. She's not
Yeah,
even a real nerd. She's,
yeah.
she's everything is fake. Are
I'm
you
not
even black?
dies.
Sorry.
Passes away instantly.
Oh my god, I need to stop saying these things on the internet because I'm so afraid that people will take this out of context. Amanda, tell them that we are friends and that I'm not I'm not bullying you.
What was that? And this is Valentina. She's an ally. Speak, Valentina. Ally! What the fuck was that? Amanda,
No,
tell them I'm not racist.
please tell them I'm not racist. I'm just oh my
Yes, girl is actually my friend and not racist. But yeah, like the trailer got me really excited. Fun fact about me, something that I don't talk about a lot. One, I love figure skating. And two, I love ballroom dancing.
mm.
I love a quick false step. I love ballroom dancing so much. I used to watch Dancing with the Stars
Mm.
religiously when I was younger. I just think ballroom, just the pageantry and the skill, like it is a sport. When people are like, "Oh, these aren't athletes." Yes, they are.
I
Right.
mean, I don't know anything about ballroom dancing, and also I don't know anything about celebrities. So I think it's really fun to watch. If I do watch Dancing with the Stars, I usually don't know who the stars are. So so I don't know who's the professional and
Mhm.
who's the contestant, because they, they learn, and it's so impressive to me as a person who's just like a pleb who's just watching. um but I did watch. I got a lot more, because again, I'm a nerd. I got a lot more appreciation for an understanding of ballroom dancing when I watched Ballroom e Yokoso, the
Mhm.
anime, when that aired. And then and then I think the 10 count. I need to stop calling it 10 count. The 10 dance translation was
Mhm.
released in English after Ballroom Yokoso.
Mhm.
And so I appreciate that anime for teaching me enough for it to be, easier for me to follow 10
Right.
dance. And
So yeah.
it's like the slowest fucking slow burn, and they're gonna murder me. And I'm really curious how they're gonna do it in the live action.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I think if it's something that I can keep intimate, like, oh, it's like me and a few friends are watching it together,
Mhm.
I'll probably be fine. But yeah, I definitely don't think that this is a fandom. I'm gonna be like, like I'm not making an eat bag for this. Like I'm not gonna be like a super out fan of this,
Yeah.
just because by by the way fandom is, it already is starting to feel a little Yuri on Ice,
Mm.
and I'm old. I'm dying. I don't want to do that.
We're all dying, Amanda.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
didn't want to.
special.
I did. Gonna go tell my kidney doctor I'm not special.
Yes. Tell them I said so. Listen, my country's national costume is apparently a salmon, and I can say whatever the fuck I want.
I loved it. It was
Okay,
cute.
no, I have a genuine, like, my genuine theory is that
Please.
I think my theory is that we had a different costume, and then it got
Mm-hmm.
like lost, like her luggage got lost or something, because that salmon looks like it's a tarp. And then you have those, I can't remember what they're called, like these, like, what are these called? The
Zip ties.
Yeah, the zip ties. Thank you, my
You're
brain
welcome.
died. And because the bones, like the fish bones, look like they're just zip ties that are just like attached to
Mm-hmm.
to her outfit. I'm like, I think they made this in 5 minutes, and I love it. And I'm also like getting super offended. I was like seeing comment sections, and there was like a BuzzFeed article that was featuring a lot of these costumes, and then they didn't specify what Miss Norway was wearing. And then people in the comments were like, "What the fuck is that supposed to be?" And I'm like, "It's a salmon, you uncultured swine." And then someone called it a sardine. It's not a sardine. Okay. Anyway, I thought Miss Bahamas was the best with her pirate costume.
She did look really good. I'm not discrediting that. I'm just saying she came out as a fish and I thought it was funny.
It was really funny. I love that everyone else is like fucking beautiful, and we're just like the
Fish.
ugliest fish costume on the planet. I also want to know why Ukraine sent Griffith. Because when I saw Miss Ukraine, I was like, Griffith? That you? That's it.
He's beautiful. I don't know what you're
He is
talking about. He
beautiful.
also didn't do anything wrong.
No, no. I
Totally
mean,
innocent character.
yeah, no, he didn't. I mean, to be fair, I have said this before. I'm just putting it out there. I think that Guts could have been a little more delicate in his breakup, and then none of this would have happened.
See, for some reason, I was applying that to like Trigun, where it's like, if only Vash had been nicer to Knives, maybe he wouldn't be genocidal.
Unfortunately, Vash is a disaster of a person,
Yes.
and I don't, I don't think yeah.
If only Vash had been kinder to his brother, who really is just looking out for his best interest.
Mm, mm,
I think things could be different. But
mm.
no, Vash
That's
had to
not
go care about humans, and
no, but we had to have drama, That's But yeah. No, but anyway, I am excited, and
I am too.
I'm not gonna be like an active participant in fandom, I think, mostly because I'm not an active participant in anything anymore. But I will try to like look in, especially on like my author Twitter, where I follow all the scholars and all of those things, and
Mhm.
like to see, just to get a grasp of the impact kind of like just to see what people are saying, but I'm not going to participate. I don't have the energy for that. I have
Yeah, for
books to
sure.
edit.
And we'll definitely be keeping up with it as a podcast because that's our job.
Yeah. Even though we are, yeah,
Some of us are better at it than others.
we're not necessarily great at keeping up with current news. I, for one, am excited.
In our defense, there's a lot of news happening,
There is a lot of news happening.
and we're both old and tired.
And
We need
also,
an
again,
intern.
yeah, and it's like, okay, let me show you. I sitting right here. So I received this in the mail
Yes, I
yesterday.
saw it on Instagram.
Yeah. This is the given dojin, the backside from the J Garden uh, event. And I'm very excited, but then I realized I've never actually finished reading the given manga because this is the second problem. I hoard and then I wait for it to finish and then I never read it. So this is why we can't keep up with new things because either we don't follow it at all or it's one of those things where it's yes, I will watch it when it's complete. When
It's
everyone
never
else has
complete.
stopped talking about it.
It's
Yeah,
never complete.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, Given is complete, so I will actually read it.
I don't have any positive feelings about Given.
You're such a contrarian.
Is that going to be another show that we have to talk about?
Maybe. I think but you're just making these like can you guys tell that Amanda loves this podcast? I mean, I think it's an interesting because it's one of those things where it's like it marks another shift. Like we've talked about a lot about shifts in fandom today, and it does mark another shift because Given is in many ways a very different type of BL compared to what a lot of us were used to seeing animated, and for the younger generation sets a standard that, well, yeah, when you look at older things, it's different.
Can you just see like the seething hatred? Like, yeah, it sets a standard, a bad fucking one. It's the
I
poster child for modern purity culture, and I hate it.
I personally love Given, but I will say, if there are only two BL like music BLs out there, Gravitation will forever be the superior one, and I will fucking fight you.
It's
And
been 2 hours and we've done nothing
yeah,
but complain.
no, we haven't. We've talked about good things.
We have talked about good things. You're right. Next month we have something exciting happening.
Yay!
We will announce it in December. We're still
Which
working
is
on
scarily close, by the way. I'm not okay. This is not
Oh,
okay.
I texted my aunt that I was recording with you, and she says to give Corolla my regards, my aunt's regards. Hold on.
Send your love, send my love to your aunt.
Send, send all the love. Perfect. I will send that to her. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me the coolest job on the planet, which is talking about gay shit with one of my best friends.
And fighting about it.
And arguing about it. I just, it's almost Thanksgiving. We're supposed to be thinking about what we're thankful for. I'm always thankful for Corolla. We've had some new users in our Discord, and of course, they get to learn about how Corolla and I met.
The arranged marriage.
And I'm so astonished by there's no reason why our friendship should work.
No.
But it does, and I think that makes it even more beautiful.
I do think it helps that we're an ocean apart and we can't actively kill each other.
Because I just pull up to your place one day, just mock
You're the one. You're the one who likes to start our conversations with kicks down your house. So I don't know.
I'm an American. What do you want from me? This is all we know.
As long as you take your shoes off.
I will.
Yeah.
But I am so blessed that one of the things that I get to do is spend time with one of my favorite people, talking about some of my favorite things.
Freaks out in
Norwegian. Yeah.
Norwegian.
Yeah, Norwegian activation noises.
You can just see in the panic building, like, am I supposed to respond to this? What do I do?
It's just Norwegian activation noises. I'm still recovering from my very, very long drive where Corolla got to discover that Texas is a very large state.
See, this was what I was going to bully you for in this live.
You still have some time. I haven't ended the stream yet. Do you want to?
I'm just saying that I don't think I think that you are uh exaggerating the amount of rest you got and how relaxing your trip was, and I also think that we need to talk about your caffeine intake. That's all I'm saying.
What are you, my kidney doctor? Shut up.
Yes. I don't know if you know this, but I am actually a doctor. I have watched a lot of things.
I was waiting for that joke to go somewhere and it just didn't.
No, because I just realized how few medical shows I've actually watched.
I was about to say, like, now I could say that.
I realized that you can be your own doctor with the amount of ER you watched.
Yeah, you, however.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel a lot more rested now that I've slept and like not had to like be in the car for 8 hours.
Shocking.
Also, if you think to yourself, I'm going to beat traffic and drive at 3 o'clock in the morning after not sleeping, don't do that. That's a bad idea.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. So me and my Prius, surrounded by semi-trucks at 3 a.m. I already have night blindness. I don't see very well at night.
I don't love this for you. Why? No, I don't. Actually, I don't want to know anything. I don't want any answers.
Why do I have night blindness?
No. I more like, why are you driving at night with night blindness when you haven't had enough sleep?
My aunts do it all the time.
Let's see where you get it. Oh my god. What was it I said to you yesterday? I said, that is not a flex, Amanda. That's what I said to you yesterday.
You also said, don't XD me, like the laughing emoji.
Yes,
like...
I did. I did, because that is not a good response.
It's a great response.
No.
I'm so excited for December.
It's going to be exciting.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
You in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Where's the fucking mouse? Sorry.